What harm, if any, does the member see in this amendment?
I appreciate the opportunity to speak. The problem with the amendment is that it's putting into the criteria for access to voluntary assisted dying not being coerced, which is not a criteria for access to voluntary assisted dying in itself. So it's not in the right place in the legislation. Where it belongs is where it is, which is in clauses 26(1)(c), 35(1)(c), 42(a)(i), 42(a)(i) and 42(1)(a)(i). That is, at each point when the medical practitioners are assessing whether the person is able to proceed to the next stage, the question that they must turn their mind to is whether this is a decision being made freely and free of coercion. So I gave the example in answer to the previous question of 26(1). I can't read my own writing, I apologise, 1C, which is in the outcome of the first assessment, the person is acting voluntarily and without coercion. In 35(1)(c), we come to the outcome of the consulting assessment. So the first assessment's occurred, there is now a consulting medical practitioner, and in 35(1)(c), the person is acting voluntarily and without coercion. In 40(2), the written declaration, which is that a person is reaching the end of the process and is signing a written declaration, the written declaration must specify that the person makes the declaration voluntarily and without coercion. So, as we can see, there's a 26(2). So I'm having helpful advice from people. The outcome of the first assessment, if the coordinating medical practitioner is not satisfied as to any matter in subsection 1, one of which is that the person is acting voluntarily and without coercion, then the request and assessment process ends. So the freedom from coercion is in all the places where it needs to be in order to make sure that, as I said in answer to the previous question, that this is indeed voluntary assisted dying. So not only is it throughout the legislation, it is also has been tested by the Victorian Board in practice and not to be found to be an issue. So to include coercion in a section which is about eligibility, I think is misplaced, and the reason I expressed that it was superfluous is because the member has already been successful in having it placed early on in the principles, and therefore the point has been made very clearly, I would have thought from the member's perspective, that coercion is important, and then it is already in the bill in every single point throughout, and is a reason that an assessment may be terminated if the medical practitioner does not believe the person is acting in a way that is free of coercion.